When I started studying gemology, I really felt like my kindergarten education did me wrong in the sense that I was not aware of how many colors there could be in the world. I thought there were 8 basic colors or whatever, but in gemology, there are a million combinations of types of colors. Do you think we have $1 million worth of sapphire?
I think we easily have, yes.
Hey everyone, welcome back to another unboxing. We have a guest here, Andrew. He filmed a diamond episode with us, which if you haven't seen it, you've got to check it out. There's so many beautiful diamonds in that episode. Andrew, we're glad to have you back and excited to see what you have for us.
All right, here we go, Rebecca, with box number 1. I believe there's a clue for you what's inside.
Okay, not diamond, but another brilliant stone. Color is the feature for which they're often known. I'm just gonna open it up.
Okay.
Oh my gosh. So we have 4 mineral specimens. That looks otherworldly.
What we have here are corundum. Specifically here, we have sapphires in matrix and rubies in matrix.
Okay, so many people are going to wonder why you called one sapphire and one ruby.
Rubies are the red variety of corundum. When you have a bit of chromium in there, it will create this wonderful red. Everything else in corundum, all other colors, are sapphires.
So that's purplish?
Yeah.
Purple?
Mm-hmm. It's not red enough to properly call it a ruby. It would be a sapphire. The matrix that it's in is very interesting. The way that sapphires form, it's very rare conditions in the earth. You need to have a very low silica environment. All the sapphires that we found today are around 150 to 200 million years old. Many minerals form during periods of the earth where there's a very high pressure going on, where the continental plates come together. Sapphires actually form when there's a cooling period.
So this looks metallic to me.
Yes. So for sapphires to form, it has to be in a very low silica environment. Sapphires are aluminum oxide. If there's a high silica environment, the aluminum is going to attach itself to the silica and form feldspar. When all the aluminum is used up, the remaining silica will form quartz. In a low silica environment, the remaining aluminum will bond itself with oxide and form corundum.
Now let's talk about the marble, because that is a very common matrix with ruby.
When rubies have too much iron in them, they aren't as gemmy. You want a low iron content, and marble is formed without iron. This is naturally the kind of environment you want for a nice quality ruby to form. This is from Vietnam, and these are from India, I believe.
Okay, that is amazing. Are we ready for the next one?
Are you ready for the next box?
I'm always ready.
We have box number 2 ready to go.
Oh, look at these.
We have some rough sapphires to go with some very special pieces of polish.
Oh my gosh, I don't even know where to start.
All corundum is naturally clear. It's the trace elements that give it its color. The trace amount of iron gives sapphires a green or a yellowish color.
I love yellow sapphire.
Very cool.
I think it's so beautiful. It's commonly very clean.
We were talking about earlier the iron content in rubies. This would have a lot of iron in it, which is why it's not a more gemmy piece, but it's a wonderful
Look at the
hexagonal.
form.
Yeah.
That is amazing. I love that.
This is from India. So this is the more traditional, this is a Burmese ruby, which is where most of the high quality rubies tend to come from. So it's the chromium in this that we're seeing fluoresce, and there's very little iron in there getting in the way of the fluorescence. This is a Sri Lanka sapphire, 250 plus carats, your more typical blue. But the interesting thing about these large sapphires is the conditions for them to be formed really have to be consistent for a long period of time. Most sapphires are much smaller because the conditions for them to grow don't maintain themselves.
Can you talk to us about the brownish yellow inclusion?
That looks to me like some rutile inside of this stone. Rutile can have somewhat of a golden, silky feel to it. The titanium from the rutile is what gives the sapphire its blue color.
That is so gorgeous. That's a crystal habit, this 6-sided bipyramid that's very indicative of sapphire.
specifically Sri Lanka has this wonderful elongated version of rough sapphire because the conditions were right for it so long.
Can you talk to us a little bit about why the luster is different on both of these?
The higher the iron content, the less luster you will have. And this one, you have a very, very low iron content, so it's a wonderful gemstone and very rare for that size. This is a 19.5 carat stone. This is from Sri Lanka. Large stones like this are not common in other locations.
Yeah, when I think of sapphires, I think of Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
And this one is too cool. You've got it twinning.
Yeah, sapphires growing.
Out of sapphire.
Mm-hmm.
I love these. Do you have a favorite?
Mine is this one. I found it at the Tucson Gem and Mineral Show. I couldn't believe it was actually for sale. I love the color, I love the formation, and the size is spectacular.
Yes, that's a great showpiece, educational piece.
Mm-hmm.
Piece to just have and look at from time to time.
Absolutely. It has a wonderful feel to it.
Yeah. Correct me if I'm wrong. Is it relatively rarer to get a ruby in the bipyramidal shape?
Yes. Most rubies you're going to find are going to be more in the hexagonal shape. Let's clear some room for box number 3.
Oh, there's another box. Oh my goodness. You're the king of bringing like parcels of gems. Look at that. The colors. Okay, these barrel shapes. Mm-hmm. It's like a greenish blue.
So these are from Kenya. It's interesting because these are high in iron content, so you have not a lot of gemminess in them. A lot of titanium in there, a lot of iron. The corundum that we've encountered from Kenya is traditionally not gem grade.
Okay. Corundum is used in a lot of different like industrial or other applications.
Sapphires are 9 on the hardness scale, so they have a lot of applications that way.
Isn't corundum on your iPhone screen?
Yes, synthetic corundum is used for watch faces. This is a synthetic corundum on my Rolex.
Look at that. The color of these, I just am very drawn to. These like warm fall colors.
So we've dubbed these sunset sapphires because the rich pink-purple hues and the mixture with the blue in the sky. And these are from Windsor, Tanzania.
Okay. Very popular sapphire locale.
Mm-hmm. When you have orange or purple color in sapphires, that's usually caused by trace elements of manganese. Certainly some titanium, giving it the blue color.
Like these purple, pink. Look at that.
I know you love bicolor, so I had to bring some of that down.
Look at, oh my gosh. So walk us through how you get a bicolor gem.
You need different trace elements in there. These might have some chromium, they may have some manganese, and certainly some titanium. Both would have to occur in different parts of the stone to get the bicolor effect. This is an interesting location to talk about next, the Montana sapphire.
Yes.
So forgive me, but I do love running my hands through these treasures.
A lot of people are watching with envy right now.
You can see in some of them a little bit of the iron inclusion, giving it yellowish-orange effect inside.
Yeah.
Some pinks and some blues. This batch has actually been heated, but you do get a lot of rich colors that are no heat from Montana. I'd say the majority of material coming out of Montana is probably a teal type of color. And then I encourage you to spill out our bag of Sri Lanka sapphires.
I'm gonna try to fit all of them in my hand. Look at that.
These are all Sri Lanka sapphires, the traditional bipyramidal formation that only seems to happen there from what we've found.
This one immediately caught my eye, not just because it's the biggest, but because color.
Yep.
I love that. And this one has some nice banding to it.
Mm-hmm.
Look at that.
I'm sorry, I can't resist the ASMR effect here. We just have too fun of a pile to play with.
Well, you can do that. I'm not doing that with your gems.
Please, feel free.
Oh my gosh.
Look at this guy. Look at the twinning on him.
That is amazing.
That's a thumbs up.
So many hues, so many saturations.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, it is really incredible that this is all one family of gems.
Yes, this collection that we see in front of us now is actually for sale.
Is it for sale as a collection or individually?
Individually. We have a 1 stone minimum in our office. We really love the rough material and the stories that are told from it. For sapphires, the variety is just too wonderful to focus solely on the blue traditional sapphires that we all hear so much about. There's so much out there.
Especially for you September babies. A lot of people think, oh, blue is my only option, but clearly you've got a lot of options.
Yes, you do. I don't know what box we are on. I'm guessing it's,
I think it's
number 4, maybe?
4.
4. Box number 4.
I just don't, it's like sensory overload, I think. Look at all those.
My son told me that it's more interesting if I try to bring about $1 million worth of sapphires, so that's the aim that I've come with here today.
Do you think we have $1 million worth of
I think
sapphire?
we easily have $1 million worth of sapphires here, yes.
Well, my goodness.
Let's start over here. We have our polished Montana sapphire collection. We're going to spill that out and play with
This is giving me a conniption. All this like loose $1 million worth of gems. Oh, how
There we
pretty.
go. This is actually no heat sapphires from
Oh, wow.
Montana. Montana sapphire production is special because we are mining them obviously in the USA, but we're also manufacturing them on 47th Street. They are mined and faceted in the USA.
People may not know this, but most gems are faceted internationally.
Yes. Most sapphires are faceted in Sri Lanka. Some rarer, larger stones from Montana here. And we have fun not being traditional with the shapes that we cut out of
Yes, you've
the
got
stones.
like trapezoid, like shield cuts, maybe.
Shield cuts for sure. Sometimes kite shapes, sometimes coffins. This is a very rich orange color stone. Those are higher quality material from the Windsor, Tanzania mine. And spill them out.
I know. Look at that. When I started studying gemology, I really felt like my kindergarten education did me wrong in the sense that I was not aware of how many colors there could be in the world. I thought there were 8 basic colors or whatever, but in gemology there are a million combinations of types of colors. Do you have any preferences on naming conventions for sapphires? Like, some of these to me are kind of raspberry, and some
I
are
love it.
blueberry-ish, and some are, I don't know, cotton candy-ish.
Yes, Sunset Sapphire is a great example. We're always inspired by what they're giving us. Gemstones are fun.
They are fun. Well, again, you gotta go watch the diamond video because Andrew and his team are very creative when it comes to names.
Well, thank you. We have fun.
It sounds like it. This one really pops.
Those are the party Australian sapphires that Australia made famous. What we have there is iron content in the stone, giving it its yellow greenish tint.
Are these heated?
Those are not heated, no.
All of that natural color, that is so beautiful.
Often when you heat them, you can lose the bicolor effect. Most of the material that is bicolor I would expect not to be heated.
It's just so pretty. Where does the value come in?
Well, the value of the stones are dictated by the market. When people are only aware of one kind of sapphire, that's going to be the only kind of sapphire that is desired. But a lot of people want different. I would imagine that material like this would shoot up in value because it has very rare purplish pinkish effect to it. The value of a stone is what you're willing to spend on it at the end of the day.
My
One more
goodness.
box to add to our conversation.
I love it. Oh.
So what we have
That's
here, and I'm
amazing.
going to take this out of the box
Go
for
for
you. This is rutile that we've been talking about in the sapphire growing outside of a mineral. It's growing out of the hematite crystal. It's interesting to look at because we get to see the inclusions that are inside these stones outside.
If you study gemology, rutile comes up all the time. It's a very common inclusion.
Common titanium inclusion which
Yes.
gives sapphire the color.
But I've never held rutile before. That is so cool.
And as we're talking about rutile in sapphires, what you have here is the star sapphire.
Look at that.
Look at that star. So this is a natural star sapphire. They do make synthetic star sapphires now, and one of the ways you can tell the difference between the natural and the synthetic is the play of the asterism on the stone. The synthetic will feel very fluid, whereas the natural is less fluid.
This one is au naturel, and it's a nice sharp star. It extends to the edges. So pretty.
That's caused by the rutile inside the stone.
And then you have some more Montana.
Yeah. Nice Montana sapphires with a touch of iron in the middle, giving it that nice bicolor effect. These are Australian, some rough party sapphires. I love
Less
seeing
huge.
all these sapphires out like this. I don't normally keep them like this, and it's a lot of fun to really experience the full effect from the rough to the polished.
It's kind of overwhelming. Do you have a favorite?
I would say that out of all of these, the rough from Sri Lanka is my favorite.
per usual, it's time for a closer look. I know your favorite.
Yes.
That was a top contender for me. This is kind of a cheat, but this whole parcel is my favorite. I love the form the crystal habit and all the colors there that are represented. So take a closer look at those. Gosh, Andrew, you may have shown yourself up. Next time you can bring $2 million.
Challenge accepted.
If you want to learn more about sapphires, head to gemstones.com where you can read articles, watch videos, and learn all about this amazing variety in the corundum family.
So Rebecca, I've really enjoyed with our previous episode looking at the comments and responding and interacting with everyone. I'm looking forward to what people have to say about the sapphires here.
So if you have any questions for Andrew, or if you have any suggestions for what you want him to bring for us next, let us know down in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring that bell so you don't miss out on any of our future videos.
Thank you.
Bye.